Scav run with Kilo. What is up, everyone? I am Kilo Whiskey, and in today's video I'm hoping to show you guys how to scav Shoreline. I guess the best way of putting it is a tutorial on how to scav Shoreline. I've been asked by a few people who have come in my stream, have asked me how I've made as much money as I have here. About a month into the wipe, I'm level 40 and I have over 100 million liquid rubles, and it's mainly due to just scavving Shoreline. I want to say about 99% of my scavs this wipe have been on Shoreline. The new rework has been great. I've absolutely loved it, and it's mainly just by hitting the resort and the new point of interest, the new the pig farm that they added, I believe, a place that my friends and I like to call out, and they call it Ram Ranch. So, and this is without using the vaulting exploit to get into rooms that are, usually locked behind a key. And this is just by looting what's given to you, all the free rooms and all these different areas and stuff like that. So hopefully in this video I could show you guys what to loot, how to loot it, how to be efficient, and how to just make a bunch of money. So, and hopefully it'll help you guys enjoy the wipe, and hopefully you guys can just make it out and make a bunch of money, and hopefully this video helps y'all. And if you guys ever need anything, you could always just leave a comment or hop into my stream and ask whatever you want to ask. So stay tuned, and hopefully this video helps. Alright, so to give a little idea about what I'm talking about here, so Shoreline as a whole map, especially with the new rework, it's great. And even before, it had a bunch of places to loot, right? If you want to go and hit all the caches, there's so many on Shoreline, and there's probably a bunch of YouTube videos that showcase, so, where to hit, what to hit, how to do it efficiently. I'm not going to be doing that. I'm going to be keeping it simple. I'm just mainly going to be focusing on the resort and also the new area over here, the pig farm, that pig ranch, whatever it's called, the new point of interest that got added with the rework. As you can see here on the wiki, I'll be linking both of these maps below in the description, so you all could check it out for yourselves. But yeah, I mean, Shoreline in general has a bunch of great places to loot. You have the village, you have the cottages, power, weather, pier, a bunch of great places to loot. Depending on where you spawn, obviously you're going to hit them. But this is by simply just by hitting the resort and the new area. That's what I'm going to be showing you. And, if you want, obviously, for example, if you spawn over here, you can work your way through the village, through the cottages, hit bus if you want, work your way through resort, and then hit this area, and then extract old bunker. That's obviously one of the lines you could take. Here if you spawn at RTC as a scav, work your way up here, then work your way into the resort, and then you'll more than likely have some sort of extract here in the resort and leave that way. All depends how you want to do it. But I'm just going to be focusing on the resort and the new area, and I'm going to be doing a little quick run through. I'm going to go hop into a raid, hop into an offline, and go run around and show you guys what to hit. But yeah, I mean, just by looking at just the duffel bags, if we go down to actually the health resort itself, I mean, there's so many duffel bags everywhere. Basement, there's so many spawns, especially within the dynamic spawns for containers. There's stuff everywhere. I mean, there's also plenty of med bags to find O-scopes, lead-access stims, so there'll be a bunch of areas you'll be able to hit. This is without vaulting. You don't need to, use the vaulting exploit to get into the locked rooms. This is all just available by opening up doors, walking to free rooms, and looting stuff. So I'm going to go hop into a raid and show you guys how I do it. Alright, so here we are. I've loaded into an offline PMC run to show you all how I loot things and where I go and what I like to check. So here we're going to start off on the west wing. So for example, if you spawn maybe towards the village or near the cottages or on the west side of the map, we go in here to the west wing. And there's this little shack you can loot here. There's a couple toolboxes that usually spawn here. You can go loot those, and of course take everything with a little bit of a grain of salt. The dynamic loot has changed things up a little bit, so what spawns for me may not spawn for you, and what doesn't spawn for me may spawn for you. So we go into here, into the west wing. Of course, you got stuff that can spawn on these shelves, and we're just going to go straight up to the third floor. And I feel like a lot of people miss stuff that spawns up here. So in this room, I like to check here because you have a med bag, you have some loose loot that can spawn on this table, and as well as sometimes a med bag spawns out here. Make sure to check those balconies for all that those hidden bags. And over here on the floor and also on the laundry machine, there's sometimes loose medical loot that spawns in here. And over here, 25, you have med bags. You can see both of them spawn for me. They spawn here. Always make sure to check the med bags. You could pull lead axes, O-scope, stims, make really easy money. So going through here, keep an eye on the lookout. Duffel bags can spawn all over the place, as you can see there. Working our way in here with a 320, you got a weapon crate that spawns. There's also medical bags, and again, make sure to check the balcony because sometimes they spawn there. And then working our way back. Now, you can be more specific or more thorough. You can go and loot everything and check every single room. There's so much loot here, but I'm just showing you how I do things and what I check. So let's go to the first floor first, or second. Here we're on the first floor, 103, the first room. Medical bags can spawn in this room, so make sure to check. And also these bathrooms like to hide medical bags or duffel bags, so make sure to check the rooms and check the bathrooms. Turn our way down towards 107, another medical bag room can spawn on that table right there, as well as on that bench. Turn way down a little bit more. This is another overlooked room, 109 on the first floor of the west wing. A bunch of duffel bags can spawn here. As you can see, I got one there, one in the corner, one in that corner. Maybe we got one, and we do. We have one in the bathroom. So I think like 5 or 6 can spawn in this one room. It's pretty crazy. And we have another room over here with a medical bag right there. Sometimes one spawns there, and also sometimes in the bathroom. So now we'll go up to the 3rd floor. I think everyone probably knows about this room, but it's a great room and I love checking it anyway. So 311, you have rare loot, rare loose loot that could spawn here, either on the bed and specifically on the end of the bed over here on this pile of newspapers. I've pulled bitcoins, LEDXs, a fair number of very good items from right there. Also stuff can spawn on the chair, on the windowsill, and sometimes you get a duffel bag right there. I've also found some loot spawning over here in the room right next to it. Here, we'll drop down the hole next to Barb. We'll go over to the 2nd floor. So on this balcony, you have a little green crate. Make sure to check those. I found RRs in them in the past. In this room over here in 211, you have a med bag that could spawn there, and also one on the balcony. So we'll hop over, and we'll go down here, and there's also a room. So if you're coming up, you can check this connecting room. Duffel bags like to spawn here. So you can see one spawn there, so you can make sure to check those. And you know what we'll do is from here, we'll go down and we'll go hit the basement. So you have loose loot, as you can see, that spawn right there on the shelf, so make sure to check the shelves. And starting from this end of the basement, go hook a left into this room. So you got duffel bags that could spawn in this room. Make sure to check that. Duffel bags offer a variety of loot. Always make sure to check them. You got one there, one there. Also in this, more duffel bags. Basement's going to be a lot of the time duffel bags. The duffel bags will spawn on these couches over here. Work our way down a little bit. You get duffel bags that could spawn there. Also in this room. A duffel bag, see, right there. Also they spawn in the back. Again, dynamic loot. Stuff's going to be all over the place. So take it with a grain of salt. We got duffel bag there, duffel bag can spawn here, so make sure to check this entire basement. Of course, you have the red card that can spawn here and on the lockers, etc. So check for the duffel bags, check for the green weapon crates. They'll be all over here in the basement. Bunch of great places to loot. Also back here, they'll spawn. So going up from the basement, we'll work our way into admin. So in this room, you'll have some duffel bags spawning. You'll have the occasional duffel bag spawning on that couch over there. And then working into admin. So we'll go to the 2nd floor. So onto the 2nd floor here, of course, you got the filing cabinets. The filing cabinets are great places to loot. Find so many great keys and great items, so make sure to check them. You got these 2 sets of cabinets here, but also you could hit these ones in the back. These are also lootable. You also have a duffel bag that spawns there, and if you go through the store, hook a right, one spawns right over there. And also in here, you'll have a couple green weapon crates. You'll have ammo that spawns on that table, as you can see, spawn there for me. Who knows? Could find some 55A1, 56A1, bunch of that good ammo that you can't really get. So in this little band room, you'll have a duffel bag that could spawn on the stage, of course on these seats as well, so keep an eye out. You got all these PCs to loot in this room, so we could pull that GPU. And also the occasional black square weapon box usually spawns in this room. Unfortunately did not for me. We'll go in here. Of course you got random loose loot that could spawn. As you can see, it didn't spawn on the shelf, but usually spawns on the shelf, occasionally on this table. And then working our way in here, same thing. Check the shelves for the loose loot and also that red key card. And same thing in here. You'll have loose loot that spawns on the couch, sometimes on the table. So we'll make our way into the theater room. In this theater room, I only really like checking. There's a dead scav that spawns up there. Here, let me show you. Dead scavs that spawns right there. I like to check it. Could hold some cool things, so always worth being efficient and looting stuff, because at the end of the day, a slot that's filled is worth more than a slot that's empty. So go over here, go hit the bathroom. Duffel bag spawns right there. Also one occasionally spawns there. Make sure to check this tray over here. I've pulled multiple LEDXs and med spawns, and a whole bunch of random stuff spawns right there, so make sure to check. And also in the basement of the admin, so there's duffel bags that spawn in here. Should make sure to check. But maybe you have the admin extract. Go over here, check for duffel bags, and just get out of here. So from admin, let's go over to the east wing. So while going through the connector to the east wing, you got this dead scav over here you could loot. In this room over here, occasionally spawn some duffel bags, you can see. And working our way down, we'll go through the first floor. And over here near Sandy's room, hook a left. This room usually spawns some duffel bags, and usually spawns a fair few of them. So make sure to check. We'll work our way down a little bit more. So in here, you'll also find some med bags, so make sure to check. Maybe in the bathroom. No, we don't have one. We're not that lucky. And work our way over here. Again, another med bag spawn. Usually spawns right there and up there. Make sure to check. Room across, we have more duffel bags right there. Maybe one right there. Maybe in the bathroom. Make sure to check the room. And then also the loose loot that spawns on these shelves. But then we'll start here on the second floor. So go in here, 228. You got medical bags that could spawn in this room as well as on the balcony, as you can see. So make sure to check those balconies, as I keep saying. So you also have that PC to loot. Maybe pull a cool little GPU from it. Nice little bit of money. Right, and there's also, you have a few rooms you can loot here. So we go into 223, right? You have a big gray weapon crate you could hit. And then over here, next to it, 220, you have ammo and stuff that could spawn on that table right there. But I love this room, 219. 219 is great because it's a room where rare loose loot can spawn. I've pulled Bitcoins, LEDXs, so make sure to check the table, the box, and also underneath. Bitcoin might be chilling in the carpet, so make sure to swipe your mouse around and maybe find something. And across from it, of course, the red keycard room, you'll have duffel bags, weapon crates, and then, of course, over here where the red card spawns. Make sure to check all of that. Going down, you could hit that weapon crate, of course. Right, I'm not in a scav, so I'm not going to be hitting everything. Over to 213, another free room. You'll have medical bags that spawn on the tables here, or just random duffel bags. As well, again, that green weapon crate can spawn an RR. I've pulled my RR a couple wipes ago from this crate itself. So make sure to check the weapon crates, all this stuff. And also you have medical loot. As you can see, it's bandage spawn there on the windowsill. As well as stuff can spawn in this cabinet and also on the floor. So make sure to check that. And also a little bit down here, another room I like to check is there is a room with a dead scav and some stuff in it. So 2 or 3 across from Skybridge, right? You got a dead scav in here. You also have some duffel bags that can spawn in here, as well as some weapon crates. So another great place to check. And we'll go up to the 3rd floor here. So we'll start all the way down here. Just one little dead scav. Of course, in this room here, you got some duffel bags that spawn, and then a dead scav that spawns on the bed. So, duffel bags and all that stuff, there's a chance to pull some great loot out of it. So why not check it, especially when you're on a scav run. So working our way down. We'll go cross in here. Of course, you have that gray weapon crate that spawns on the balcony. And also this room spawns medical bags. Make sure to check. I got a great spawn. Spawned 2 of them. So who knows, could be 2 Letixes. So always worth checking on your scav when you have some duffel bags that are spawned in the hallway. And then working our way into the mark room, to the pig room. You could have stuff that spawns on the pig or around the pig on the bathtub. And also back here. So make sure to check all that. Could get a teapot, vase, bitcoins. Who knows? One of my favorite rooms that I feel like is really overlooked is 327 over here on the east wing on 3rd floor. This seems to be really hidden. A lot of people don't know about it, but I've had 2 duffel bags spawn over here and working our way around the balcony into this room. Another great room. I've had multiple medical bags and duffel bags spawn in this room as well. You have all the loose loot that spawns on the shelves, so another great room to check. And that is pretty much the east wing. We'll make our way out through the fire escape. This also can spawn some random medical loose loot, so another great place to check if you're leaving or coming in through the fire escape, which I think has been one of the best additions to Shoreline, especially to the resort. I feel like it's just a great way to get in and out, especially trying to make some plays on people. It's awesome. So inside this big brick building, of course, you have duffel bags that can spawn over here. You have the jackets where a duffel bag can spawn, and also loose loot that could spawn on top of the shelves, so make sure to check. Also, depending on your spawn, if you're coming into the east wing or leaving out, you can check over here to the left near this bush. And there is a barrel cache that sometimes spawns here. So make sure to check that. Can pull something good from it. And now let's work our way over to the pig farm, or the ranch. A place I love calling Ram Ranch. So let's go over there now. So while I'm running through this field, I'd like to add that even though scav runs may seem boring, they're a great way to make money. Especially if you're having one of those nights where you're just taking a bunch of L's, you're losing a bunch of kits, losing a bunch of money, or run a few scavs. It doesn't hurt. Not like you lose anything if you die anyway. And they're a great way to make that money back. So making our way to the farm. As I've said, I have loved Shoreline this swipe. I think the majority, 90% and above of my scavs have been on Shoreline. I've gotten my hat-out stuff from it. I've gotten everything from it. So I have absolutely loved this. So entering this building, this is mainly going to be loose loot. So keep an eye out, because loose loot will hide, especially now, underneath the snow, underneath newspapers, underneath all this stuff in here. So they'll spawn on the tables. As you can see, I got some aramid right there. On these tables as well, there'll be loose loot. Make sure to check you got this box back here, as well as more loose loot that spawns on these shelves. So all these tables that I'll be looking at will have a chance to spawn some loose loot, whether it be weapon parts or tools and stuff like that. So weapon crate, another crate to hit more loose loot that spawns on these tables, as well as you got a jacket that sometimes spawns there, as well as more loose loot there. And over here, if you're, of course, you're looking maybe for your noodles or need some food, well, these tables usually spawn some food, as well as those pallets right there, usually a food spawn. Another place that I like to check is over here underneath this red shipping container. You got a weapon crate that spawns right there sometimes, and also there could be a weapon that spawns right there. And so working our way up to the other part of this new point of interest, which I've loved looting as a scav. So you have this little shipping container, which could spawn loose loot on the shelves, as well as you have that toolbox. And then you have more stuff. You have these jackets to loot. You have more loot that spawns over here on this table. You got an MPX right there that could spawn. I'm pretty sure it was probably supposed to spawn over there. But this table over here can spawn some weapon attachments. You have these shelves that spawn more loot. These tables that spawn loose loot. You got a food spawn on this table. You got weapon box that could sometimes spawn under that bunk bed. Weapon attachments spawning on these tables with that weapon crate. More loose loot there. Food loose loot here, and more loose loot that spawns on the shelves. So let's work our way to the shooting range. So also on the back side of the building here, you have a crate that sometimes spawns here, as well as some more loose loot. So again, and also back here, you got some loot that spawns in the back of the trailer. Again, everything being dynamic, stuff may not be there for me, but may be there for you, and vice versa. On this pallet, you'll have loot spawning as well. Also, next to here, you'll have loose loot spawning. As you can see, I got some electrical components that spawn next to that dozer. And then make our way into a shooting range. So you have some targets, and there's sometimes spawn some ammo and weapon parts and stuff like that can spawn behind the targets if you want to check that. So I'm working our way all the way to the back here. So along this entire stretch usually spawns weapon attachments, and there's sometimes a gun spawn as well. You got the dead scav loot. Loot back this. Be thorough on your scav. Try and make as much money as you can. Use that scav. Scavs are so useful, and they're a great way of making money. And as well, if you're on your PMC run, this could also be used the same. So weapon box sometimes spawns there. As I was saying, if you're on your PMC, you could do this too, depending on where you spawn. Maybe the raid's dead. You go loot the resort, come out here, loot this, and dip out road to customs or whatever spawn you got. So also over here, occasionally you have loose loot that spawns on the ground. And working our way into here, you have ammo and more weapon loot and stuff that could spawn. You got this little container that could spawn food in the back here, and you sometimes get a jacket on the wall or a weapon box, so worth checking out. And also out here, you have a bunch of loose loot that spawns on the ground. How many times have I said loose loot? I feel like I've said that a lot. Pick a shot every time I said loose loot. Actually, don't, because you'd probably end up dying. But but yeah, you have stuff that can spawn in this van, as you can see. Spawn right there. So make sure to check. Make sure to check the ground for all the loot that could spawn. Be everywhere, so make sure to keep an eye out. You got some keg tape, tape measure. So sometimes you'll have you have a toolbox that spawn right there. You have this crate to loot, as well as some loose loot that spawns on top of this table and on the floor. And we'll work over to this little shack. In this shack, of course, you have a weapon box that can sometimes spawn more loot that spawns in here. Over here as well, as you can see. Nice little hard drive right there, and also this crate. So then also, working our way back here, you have some more loot that could spawn on this table. And loot that could spawn over here on this pallet and on the ground right here. And also in this corner, so make sure to check. And then working our way towards the end over here, the final little part of this pig farm. So working our way into the tent, you have loot that could spawn on both of these tables, or you get a weapon crate. And then more loot that spawns over here, and as well as over here. So yeah, that's basically my Shoreline loot run. Of course, there's more places to loot on this map than just the new point of interest and resort. Bunch of great places, but depending on what kind of backpack you spawn, right, you're not going to have a bunch of room for a bunch of loot, so unfortunately you can't go loot the entire map, and also you don't have enough time to do that. So also, I'll go show a couple other spots that I like hitting while we work our way towards Old Bunker, just in case if you didn't know where that extract is. I'll go over here and show you. Yeah, number one thing is being efficient on your scav run, right? Like making sure that every slot is filled before you leave the raid. If you don't need the mags, drop those meds, those 1 out of 2 army bandages that you don't need, drop it for some loot, make more money. And just knowing the market prices. Of course, market prices fluctuate so much that you're not going to be getting the best loot all the time, but 1 ruble is worth more than 0 rubles, so make sure to fill every slot. Of course, toolbox spawns there. You also got some random loose loot that spawns over here on the floor, so another place you could check before going to Old Bunker. And we're coming right to Old Bunker. And this has been my loot run. So if you have any questions, you are more than welcome to leave them in the comments or come into my stream, twitch.tv/kilo whiskey _. Don't forget the underscore. A lot of people forget that. Also, whiskey the Americanized, so EY at the end. And also, before you go to Old Bunker, there's a stash that could sometimes spawn here. So make sure to check that out and loot it. And work our way over towards Old Bunker. This is Old Bunker. So right next to where God Spawn used to be over here in the resort before the rework. Yeah, for any questions, feel free to come in and ask. Hopefully this video has helped you out. And hopefully you all make a boatload of money and enjoy the wipe. And thank you ever for watching. And have a great rest of your day, great rest of your night, wherever you're located in the world. And thank you so much. And until next time, have an amazing one. Peace.